From the tall hat, you might think that the girl is from Wales, a historical region in the southwest of Great Britain. This hat is different after all, and the dress itself is not like that. The correct answer is Tæðbúningurinn. That is, as you may have guessed from the unpronounceable word, this costume was worn by Icelanders. And if I understood everything correctly, it belongs to one of the 5 varieties, which is called Faldbúningur. And now, after a little linguistic training and almost breaking our tongue, we are going from Iceland to New Zealand. There's a lot to see there, too. I think you already know about the tattoos on the chin of Maori women. They are called moko kawi. But I will explain about the outfit of this coquette of the early 20th century. This is a feather cape, aka kahu huruheru. I can't say anything about its practicality, but it is known that it hinted very obscurely at the high social status of its owner. Another example, to make such cloaks, both bright parrots and boring gray-brown kiwi birds were plucked. And here's another outfit made entirely of natural materials. This time it's male. This Eskimo is wearing a special waterproof jacket, carefully sewn from the intestines of marine animals. The fact is that he is a fisherman, and in order to survive, he needs to stay dry. Interestingly, this style of waterproof and windproof jackets, which are worn over the head and which the Eskimos called an anorak, is still popular. Fortunately, whales and seals are no longer required for their tailoring. Modern synthetic materials have successfully replaced them. After that, another wonderful picture about women's hats. They are young Turkmen women in ancient holiday costumes. The second half of the 19th century. You must admit that the Icelandic hat now looks like a mere trifle and even commonplace. Therefore, let's add a degree to my narrative and move on from women's traditional outfits to men's military armor. Well, as for the armor, these guys from the Indonesian island of Lombok, performing a war dance, have hardly ever heard a Russian joke about plaid or striped trousers. But that's half the trouble. While they were seriously counting on their striped uniforms, they were already wearing one on another Indonesian island of Nias. It's hard to say why the warriors of Nias were so careless about protecting their legs, but you must admit, impressive equipment, isn't it? However, even she has a worthy competitor for the title of the best costume of this collection. Hold on, don't fall. A helmet made of a hedgehog fish and a sword made of shark teeth. A traditional outfit of warriors from the islands of Kiribati in Oceania, 1925. It is reported that the manufacture of such a helmet was fraught with great danger. Not only the skin, but also the insides of this fish are impregnated with a poison that is 1,200 times stronger than cyanide. To make a helmet and protect your head in battle, you first had to catch a bloated hedgehog fish and bury it in the sand. After a week or two, a conditional skeleton was obtained, which was reinforced with coconut shells. That's it. Getting hit in the back of the head with a shark's tooth sword is no longer scary. Well, good. Let's leave the military alone. They know better, as they say. And let's admire the luxurious costumes of various nobility. Meet, friends, the King of Kings, as he called himself, and in historical chronicles, the Emperor of Ethiopia, Menelik II. You might say, well, they're all kings with a bang, but Menelik had an additional individual feature. He believed fiercely in the power of the Bible, and when he fell ill, he decided that the best medicine for him was the pages of Holy Scripture. In the truest sense of the word, he cut them off one at a time and ate them. But he died anyway. According to rumors, there were very few whole pages left. But otherwise, he is quite a capable ruler. Firstly, he founded the city of Addis Ababa, and secondly, after his death in 1913, Ethiopia was the only independent state in Africa, not counting Liberia. All the others were colonies. Therefore, I consider it necessary to add another photo of the King of Kings. This time in his youth. Good, don't you agree? But just for comparison, 3 Ethiopians are not of royal blood in their usual clothes. One even has shoes. The year is 1900. As they say, feel the difference. But we haven't finished with the rulers yet, and we're getting to know the next one. We see an equally magnificent outfit on the 34th Shah of Iran named Reza Pahlavi. I'm not even talking about the interior and the throne. Yes, this is exactly the Shah who allowed Iranian women to remove the veil in 1934 and also carried out other large-scale reforms. And these are the guys from the elite protection unit of the heir of the above-mentioned Iranian Shah, Mohammad Pahlavi, in 1960. It seems to me that in a leopard skin uniform you want to do guard duty exclusively in the shade. What are we seeing here? Well, I mean, if you can ignore the magnificent hairstyle of the prince. Initially, Circassian Caucasian peoples had casual clothes, not formal ones. The breast gaskets also became a decorative element, and once they actually held a rifle charge. And of course, a luxurious burqa. Moving on to Japan. This is an armed samurai, in armor, helmet, with a katana in his hands and a wakizashi on his belt. These are, respectively, long and short Japanese swords. We wore them together. The picture was taken in 1860. A samurai, to simplify, is something like a knight. The Japanese have a more complicated hierarchy, but we won't go into it, because we have another character in his work suit ahead of us, wearing unreal spiked armor, including a helmet, with a huge sword and shield to boot. I do not know why he needs all this, except for the sword. After all, this is not a warrior, but an executioner. From India, you just noticed that he's barefoot, right? They're such entertainers, you're thinking now. We move to cold Alaska and meet a young fisherman. He has a catch in his hand, and in his narrow eyes there is universal sadness longing, because the whole world calls his people Eskimos, and they consider themselves Inuit. The weather is not very good, yes, but is there anything special about his costume? The fact is that the guy's jacket is sewn from the intestines of a seal. Waterproof, however. I present to your attention a group of Siberian Tunguses. They are also Evanks, in a picture from 1888, and we will finish with them. Well, in general, I want a holiday. I mean, dress up for the occasion. For example, newlyweds from Bulgaria who had a wedding in the early 1900s. And it's good that the bride is young and strong to wear such a thing on her head. But the elderly wife of a Chinese general in her most beautiful outfit was clearly having a hard time. The Chinese, as you know, are great entertainers in terms of national clothing, and you can also collect a collection of wonderful photos about them. These guys are gypsies. In this case, Polish. I find it difficult to say what kind of prototype of modern camouflage trousers they are wearing. The white balls on the jacket of one of them are also a mystery. If you love vintage photographs and want to immerse yourself in the atmosphere of the past, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Here you will find unique snapshots, interesting stories, and captivating facts about celebrities and events that have left their mark in history. Support us with a like so we can continue sharing this amazing collection with you.